Good afternoon. We are now beginning the Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee meeting for Wednesday, December 10th. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Alderwoman Boyd. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Here. Vice Chair Schweitzer.
Present.
Alderman Devoti.
Here.
Alderwoman Cox Antwi.
Here.
Chair Browning.
Present.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Present.
I need your camera on, Alderwoman, so I can see you.
I know, I'm working on it. Hold on. All right, here I am.
We have 6 present.
Thank you. With that, we'll move to item number 3, approval of the minutes. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of Wednesday, November 12th.
So moved.
Moved by the Alderwoman from the 8th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 10th. Madam Clerk, could you please call roll?
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Vice Chair Schweitzer.
Aye.
Alderman Devoti. Alderwoman Cox Antwi.
Aye.
Chair Browning.
Aye.
We have 6 aye votes.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to board bills for review. We're going to start with item number 2 today. That is board bill number 76 of Alderwoman Tice. Alderwoman, you are recognized. Is your mic on?
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, thank you for allowing me to appear before you. Board Bill number 76 is a speed hump bill for various streets in the Penrose neighborhood and also in the Greater Ville neighborhood, I think it is, right. And there was a little bit that's in part of another neighborhood, but it was just a few blocks. Board Bill 76 is being introduced because I had, as you may know, I wrote the original speed hump bill that allowed us not to have to pay $900 for each time we wanted to have a speed hump. And since we've been doing that for the last 3 or 4 years, since I got it passed in 21, I guess it is, I have been putting speed humps in each of my neighborhood comprehensively. So we have a plan. We actually do a petition to ask them if they want it, if they get a majority of the people. So every neighborhood that I've had previously, except for one part of the neighborhood that I live in, we have all speed humps every place that they can be. But we're finishing up. I picked up a new part of Penrose, and I picked up the Greater Ville, and part of Vanderventor, all of the Vanderventor neighborhood, except for the block that you have. And so now I am working on those neighborhoods to complete their speed hump so that every place we can would have speed humps on the residential neighborhoods, not the secondary and not the major streets. And that's what this is. It's just a request to put speed humps in the 4700 block of Farland, Margaret, and Kossuth in San Francisco and Sacramento. That's all in the Penrose neighborhood. And then the speed humps would be on Evans and another street in the Vanderventor neighborhood. Pendleton, that's the other street. I come before asking your support.
Excellent, thank you. We'll go through committee to see if anyone has any questions, starting with our most senior member, who is Alderwoman Boyd.
No questions. Thank you for coming before the committee.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
No questions.
Alderman Devoti.
No questions.
Alderwoman Cox Antwi.
No questions. Thank you.
I also do not have any questions. And with that, we'll see if we have anyone signed up for public comment.
We have none.
Okay. Alderwoman, you are recognized to close.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. As I said, these are residential streets. They're not secondary streets. They're not major streets like Kings Highway, Union. the residential streets. And what we found is I think she needs to speak to you. As we have added more speed humps, that the streets that don't have speed humps then need the speed humps. So that has been something that we have continued to work on. And also, if they change the way they've done major streets, Natural Bridge being one of them, when they did that monstrosity down Natural Bridge, which the people hate, and they didn't do it in my part, but they did it in what is now the Ville and the Greater Ville and part of Penrose. That has necessitated more speed humps because the people don't want to drive down Natural Bridge now, so they cut across the residential neighborhoods. So I would ask your support in passing out Board Bill 76 with a due pass recommendation and move that be done.
At this time, I'm willing to accept a motion to pass Board Bill 76 out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
I move.
So moved.
You can give it to us.
Do you want a second?
Second.
Moved by the Alderwoman from the 13th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 8th. Do I hear call for
Previous roll.
previous roll? Called by Alderwoman Schweitzer. Hearing no objection, congratulations, Alderwoman. We passed Board Bill 76 out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll move back in the agenda to item number 1. I do want to point out that on our agenda here, the summary of Board Bill 59 is not correct. The correct summary you can find in the board bill itself on our drive. It is air rights over Finney Avenue instead of this description here. With that, Alderwoman Tice, you are recognized on Board Bill number 59.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I have before you Board Bill 59, which is a great board bill. Rankin Institution, Rankin Technical School is building a new building, Amicus STL, and it is going to have manufacturing there, and they're building on both sides. They have a building on one side of Finney. They're building another building on the other side of Finney. So it'll be much like what you see when you go down Kings Highway, and you see the overpass between children, or the parking lot in between the new buildings. So that's what they're going to do there, so that their students won't have to go outside to go to classes. And it's not really Rankin, it's something separate, but it's in connection with people who worked at Boeing and a lot of other companies. And this is to bring small manufacturing back into the city of St. Louis. And you do have the part that they described is actually your ward, but it is Finney and Pendleton that the new building is going up and the overpass will be built.
Thank you. We'll go through the committee, see if anyone has any questions, starting with Alderwoman Boyd.
No questions. Yes, I do. I'm sorry. The Alderwoman Tice, you said that it'll be like a crossover.
Have you seen the overpass on Kings Highway at Barnes, where they go from the parking lot to Barnes Hospital, or right there?
Like that tunnel light? It's like a
It's-
tunnel
It's
light.
not a
they
tunnel,
walk
it's up
through.
above. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And
The
then they have one,
crosswalk.
right. They have
Mhm.
one between, I want to say Children's Hospital and another hospital. I'm not sure where the other one is, but it's two I think they have.
Yeah, okay. I that's what I was thinking. Okay, thank you. That's a creative idea for over there.
Well, Rankin has built most of the houses that was there, and they started doing that back in the 90s, and they got some neighborhood support. Some people are really concerned about it. We've been having to work it out because they were concerned about manufacturing, but they had some misinformation, so it took us a little longer to get through, to make sure everybody had conversations so they were comfortable with what was going on. But it will be, I actually have some pictures that I bought. It will be a beautiful building. If you want to see the pictures, I didn't have them put online, but it's going to be a remarkable building. And if you've ever been into some of the buildings in the Central West End where they do, like right on the corner of Sarah and Forest Parkway, when you go in there, it's more of an open office. It's not closed up, and they have meeting rooms, and it's a beautiful
Mhm.
space.
Okay, thank you. That sounds beautiful. Thank you.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
No questions. It sounds like a really exciting piece of the project. So thank you for bringing it forward today.
It was very hard. So I got to be on the other end of people questioning you at length about they didn't believe you. So let me just tell you, we had to work through this for 4 or 5 months and have meetings until they were satisfied. But I'm happy that everybody but maybe one person is satisfied. So, and I think it was better that way because we worked out a few things that maybe were better the way we did it.
Alderman Devoti.
No questions.
Alderwoman Cox Antwi.
Alderwoman, I just have one question to clarify. Will both buildings, oh, is my mic not on? I'll just move it closer. Will both buildings be brand-new buildings on the Rankin campus?
No, one building is already there.
Okay,
So they're going to connect it to that building.
okay, so they're
Then-
building the connection and then another
Right.
building?
And the building that they're building, though, is kind of large, so it'll look like multiple buildings, but it's one building.
Okay.
But
well-
they don't have to go across the street. The only place they have to go across Finney is for a building that's already there.
Okay, well, it sounds like a fantastic project, and
It-
it'll be great to connect to that existing building, because it is a beautiful.
It's great for Rankin because for a long time, Rankin had real problems in the neighborhood because they had real racial problems a long time ago. They didn't allow black students to come there, and neighborhood was really suspect of them. So we have had to just really work on getting trust issues and making sure that people felt like that they were part of the process. But it's worked out really well.
Okay, wonderful, thank you.
I also do not have any questions. It sounds like a great project. With that, do we have any public testimony?
We have none.
Okay, Alderwoman, you're recognized to close.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I move that Board Bill 59 be passed out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
At this
So
time,
moved.
okay, moved by Alderwoman Boyd from the 13th, seconded by Alderwoman from the 8th.
Previous roll.
Call for previous roll from Alderwoman from the 8th. Hearing no objection. Congratulations, Alderwoman. We passed Board Bill 59 out of committee with the due pass recommendation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Stay up there because we're going to move on to item number 3, which is Board Bill number 77.
Okay. Board Bill 77 is a board bill that wants to regulate the traffic along Kings Highway Memorial Boulevard between Dr. Martin Luther King and Bircher Boulevard. That would cover the Kingsway East and West neighborhood and the Penrose neighborhood and the Penrose Industrial neighborhood. And the reason we're doing that is an attempt to slow down traffic. Actually, all of all of Kings Highway that has a median from Dr. Martin Luther King all the way to West Florissant is actually Kings Highway Memorial Boulevard. Many years ago, back in, let's see when it was, maybe the late 90s, Irene Smith passed a board bill that the part of Kings Highway from, it was 2002, the part of Kings Highway that was from Bircher headed north to West Florissant, she made that 20 miles an hour because it is all residential. And most of all of Kings Highway in that part that I represent, and I represent all of the Kings Highway Memorial Boulevard is residential. And we had Kings Highway paved. That wasn't such a, I mean, we needed it, but it was not a great idea. The chair and I have had some conversations about what happens when you pave streets. And so people drive really fast down that street. We don't seem to have enough police. I still am working on trying to find a way that we could hire police officers who have retired and that would do some kind of traffic policing. I had worked on that, and we had it all worked out, and then when the police went back to the state, it's not worked out. But we're trying to work that out again because that is the best way to get police. And I have the alderman from the 4th. He's been supportive of it. You get the police on the street. They can work 20 hours a week. They only would do traffic, and that's what we're going for. But until we get that, speed humps becomes one thing, but on the major streets like Kings Highway and Union and things like that, we need to reduce the speed. Now, will that make people do it? Maybe, maybe not. But I have, as soon as I introduced the board bill, TrailNet reached out to me and said, yay, yay, and that they were interested in it and brought a couple of people who want to testify, but they also sent me talking points about why that was such a good idea. But I will let them talk about, if you don't mind, I'll let them testify because they want to see this go more than just on Kings Highway. They would like to see this spread out in other parts of the city and to just slow the traffic down because we got to try everything we can until we get some more police officers. So I'm the opposite of defund the police. I've never been a fan of that saying. Okay, so if you don't mind.
Happy to have anyone come up and talk. If you would like to come up and talk at this time, just ask that you approach and raise your right hand. We'll swear you in, and then we'd love to hear what you say.
Sure.
So just raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. If you'd introduce yourself, your name, who you're with, and then proceed with your comments.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Eric Helmer. I am the community planning manager at TrailNet. We are a nonprofit that promotes safe streets for all, not just in St. Louis City, but around the St. Louis region. And first and foremost, thank you for allowing me to come and speak with you all today. And thank you, Alderwoman Tyus, for reaching out. I just want to start by saying that TrailNet applauds Alderwoman Tyus for caring more about her constituents' safety than about people driving fast, and just caring about safety in general. And to say that TrailNet does strongly support the reduction of speed limits, not just on Kings Highway, but on all city streets, especially dangerous arterials like Kings Highway. But with that being said, we do appreciate the city's recent significant traffic calming improvements on Kings Highway and other similar roads through ARPA-funded principal arterial traffic calming efforts and other projects. TrailNet for years has been collecting and reporting on crash data, consistently highlighting that very dangerous roads and that speeding is a serious problem on these arterials. But these kinds of traffic calming efforts do show the city is taking more seriously, specifically by adopting evidence-based, scientifically proven, and systematic approaches. I mean, we see here today, and even Alderwoman Tyus mentioned, the use of speed humps more comprehensively, for just one example. But what we see is the evidence showing that a multi-pronged systematic approach that includes engineering solutions like traffic calming and citywide speed limit reductions have proven to be more effective in other cities. We know that speeding, according to the Missouri Highway State Patrol data, accounts for about 12% of all accidents in St. Louis and 13.5% of fatalities. With that in mind, we've seen cities like Seattle reducing citywide speed limits from 25 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour, being associated with a 17.2% reduction in the odds of any crash resulting in serious injuries, and almost 20%, 19.9%, on certain arterials, just like Kings Highway. So that's a really significant safety improvement. And we know that it has effectively in other cities been associated with speed reduction. So in Portland, a 25-20 policy reduced the likelihood of a driver going over 25 miles per hour by almost 16%, and that number was over 33% for going over 30 miles per hour, and almost 50% for going 35 miles per hour or faster. So those speed limit reductions were proven, and we saw similar results in Boston, 29% reduction in drivers going over 35 miles per hour when they reduced speed limits from 30 to 25. So we really strongly see the evidence pointing at that this is an effective solution to reducing speeds, and we know that slower speeds are safer speeds. So, and we also see this in the city's newly adopted TMP, which recommends speed limit reductions from 25 to 20 miles per hour on all local streets, and reductions on arterials to 25 or 30 miles. So, and this, it should be noted, is based on 90% or 91% of survey participants that took part in that TMP. As many of you I'm sure know, supporting slower speeds if it means reckless driving is going to, or if it's going to improve comfort and safety for people traveling without cars. So again, thank you, Alderwoman Tyus, and thank you all for letting me speak here today. And I just want to reiterate that we do at TrailNet strongly support citywide speed limit reductions. So thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize if you have any questions.
We'll just see if anyone on the committee has any questions for TrailNet or for Alderwoman Tice. We'll start with Alderwoman Boyd.
No questions.
Alderwoman Clark-Hubbard. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Thank you, Chairman Browning. I think it's really interesting as we look at reducing the speed limit on this road and other roads. I know we have a resolution that's in front of us Friday that will talk about reducing the speed limit on Gravois as well. So I think we're looking at this citywide, and I think it's great to see bills like this moving. So thank you very much. And if it's all right with the Alderwoman from, oh my gosh, the 12th, my goodness, I would love to be added as a co-sponsor. Thank you so much.
Alderman Devoti.
I do have a handful of questions. First, Alderwoman, your idea or the notion about working with retired police officers on the issue of traffic control, I find fascinating. Very, very interesting. I haven't heard that before. I know that we're moving a little off topic here, but I think that's a wonderful conversation that should be had. It's creative, it's out of the box. You've got my attention. Very, very interesting.
I will send you if you don't mind. I've been working on this for a while. So we held off because the police we didn't know where they were going to be, but I have lots of research, and I've been working with the police associations, black and white, everybody I could to get on board.
Understood. And I know that's not our topic here today, but you've got my attention on that. With respect to this particular board bill, I do have a couple of questions. Is there anything specifically that prompted this legislation?
Well, yes, because so I got elected about Kings Highway. You need to start out. So back in 1991, there were two issues. Dominoes at the end of my corners, a zoning issue, and Kings Highway in my area had not been paved and curbs in 30-something years. So we worked really hard on getting it paved and curbed. And the Board of Public Service then came and cut our beautiful median and made 3 lanes. Now the problem with that is that Kings Highway goes to 2 lanes at Martin Luther King, and it goes to 1 lane at Bircher. At Bircher going into the Mark Twain neighborhood. So you just got this part in the Kingsway East and West and Penrose neighborhood where the people just don't have any curbs on the corner. They put the curbs on the median. We had 8 people to die, which we all wrote. It was Freeman Bosley who was the mayor. We wrote to him and said, we're going to vote you out of office. Don't you get rid of our medians. We only need 2 lanes. Don't do this. He did it. We did vote against him. So people died. We said, people are going to die. Why would you put curbs on the median but not along the sidewalk? So the people just drove through there so fast that they killed people. And in fact, right before we got this through the board with some more work, they killed a person at the corner of Maffitt Place and Kings Highway where I live. And some people were telling the press that I was holding up this. And Mark Maxwell, to his credit, came out and did a whole story, and then he did the opposite story of what they had fed him, because I sent him 20 years worth of emails showing him stuff. So after that, we finally got the money again, because I had gotten an original $2 million to do Kings Highway. We got some more money, and the previous mayor sat on it, and then they messed Kings Highway up. You would have to have driven on it. It was like some kind of Ferris wheel, funny ride, like going up and down. It was so messed up. And then I covered for her because she was going to pave it in December. And I said, I wrote her a letter saying, oh, no, don't do that. And I won't bring it up during election. But then they had to repave it. But we didn't really want it paved the way they did, and we wanted to reduce the number of lanes. And so it ended up, again, we got these perfectly paved lanes now, and they're flying through there, okay? And they've already run up on the curbs and they've hit people. So in talking to Rich Bradley, and they also then made Union one lane, which they're going to put back because it doesn't work in our neighborhood. Some other neighborhoods it work. And so you were putting everything on Kings Highway. And one of the things that's important about North St. Louis and Kings Highway is everybody who lives north, I live at the southern end of it, they have to get to the hospital down Kings Highway. When we had the tornado, the mayor talked to me that day, and the first thing I stressed to her, you got to get Kings Highway clear because, so we already have the ambulance and stuff coming, so now everything is coming down there and it's a mess. So that, we were already talking about it, but we were talking about it holistically because I had been talking to some other people, but this made me just have to go ahead and push this through now. Then TrailNet reached out to me, and they gave me another good idea. They said, well, you got all these speed humps, would you reduce all the places that have speed humps on residential streets, would you be open to making that 15 or 20 miles an hour? I said, if the other aldermen want that, I would be glad for that. I'm glad for anything that reduces speed. And one other thing, when I was a child, I got hit by a car, a drunk driver. My mother was holding my hand, and we were at the corner, and he sat there for the longest time. And then when I crossed the street, he hit me. So I didn't get hurt, but I always am scared. If I ever start speeding, I say, Sharon, if you hit somebody, what are you going to feel like? And that makes me immediately say, you can be late. But most people don't care. And they go through red lights, they go through stop signs, and they drive on Kings Highway 60 miles an hour or more. And so anything that we can do to try to encourage them is why we brought this.
I appreciate that background. As you know, I represent another part of St. Louis, and we just finished in the 5th Ward a road diet, essentially a recalibration of Kings Highway, Gravois, all the way up through Southwest Avenue. The work stopped within the last handful of weeks with the turn of the weather. But a major, a tremendous amount of work was done on the roadway that essentially cut the roadway down so that today we don't have a median that you could drive in, and it's essentially one lane, again, from about as far south as you can be through Southwest Avenue. Again, excuse my ignorance. I know that there is work planned for Kings Highway south all the way to north. Has that work been done? Has it started in the Kingsway east, west, as well as Penrose neighborhoods?
So the reason why we wanted to keep two lanes and the median, because we do have a lot of traffic from people who are being rushed to the hospital, okay? And so Barnes, we have no hospitals in North St. Louis, so that is the route. So we voted we would keep 2, but we're getting rid of 3, okay? So we're not gonna have, so they did put some little triangles there, which we're gonna put some more curbing, but that was temporary. But because there is so much traffic that what we found on Natural Bridge where they went to 1, it's a mess. The people hate it. It is hard if somebody is fire department is trying to go down there. So in that area, we said we would keep 2. We just don't want 3, and we want to find a way to slow it down.
Understood. And that wasn't something I was clear about because in my experience in the 5th Ward, the movement from 2 lanes to 1 lane has had a significant effect on how fast physically anybody could go.
Right.
But I now understand that in your neck of the woods that isn't happening. That road diet.
If your guy has been harmed or had a heart attack, you're trying to get them to where they need to Barnes is where they're going. We need it. And in fact, Kings Highway is 2. I don't know if they're going to make it 1. I would be surprised if they did it in front of your area or in the other one from the 10th, because we need that to get to Barnes Hospital.
My final question, as part of the preparation for filing this legislation, did you have an opportunity to speak with traffic commissioner, as well as the 3 neighborhood organizations?
I live in Kingsway East, 1 block away. So Kingsway East and Kingsway West, I kind of live in both of them because I live not 1 block, 1 house. I've been representing it for 30-something years. They beg all the time. I talked to LIM, I talked to BPS. I was the chair of streets and the vice chair of streets for 20-something years. You don't know that. So I already know, okay? They're wondering what took me so long. It was okay when Kings Highway wasn't paved so perfectly, but once Kings Highway became paved so perfectly, then it became speeding again. And the other thing is they made Union 1 lane, and the people don't like that, and so we're going to undo that, because Union at my end is where people get off on the trucks and stuff. So now you got the trucks, the sirens, the everything. So sometimes people think it's a good idea, except for it's not in the neighborhoods that you are doing it. So we're going to undo Union and make that back to 2 lanes, at least up to Martin Luther King.
Understood. So it sounds like you clearly have the support, if not the push, of the neighborhood organizations. Is Commissioner Eftim also on board with respect?
He and BPS Rich Bradley, who, because Rich know that they created this in the first place. So he and I have been going on this dance for 30 years, okay? Because he got the original letters where we said, don't make our median smaller, leave it wide. You know, so they created this years ago. And I've never let them get away with not remembering that they created this.
Thank you, Alderwoman.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Cox Antwi.
Thank you, Alderwoman, for presenting this to us today. My question is, and you noted, and I'm very familiar with this exit. A lot of people, if you're coming from 70 Kings Highway, is how you get back into the city. My question is around the path that you chose to make this, starting from MLK to Bircher. And the reason I say this, as you noted, that stretch in between Natural Bridge and MLK is very residential, but going up to the highway, it gets a little bit more industrial. You have a lot of those old manufacturing areas up there. So I guess my first question is, why did you choose all the way up the highway?
Well, it's not really industrial on the other side of King. One side of Kings Highway is the Penrose neighborhood. It's all residential.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other side, you have Matthew Dickey. You have to remember, I can tell, then you have the new, well, it's not New City School. Then we have another thing that's getting ready to be something. So the things that are along Kings Highway are not so much industrial. We have the old Rexall building that's now becoming storage. And so they all want it because, especially the schools, okay? And then Scullins used to be across the street. That's no longer, but it's predominantly not industrial. The industrial part is on Union. That was my whole point. They shouldn't have, they did that without talking to us. So I got all kind of emails saying, like, what the heck happened? Why did they do that? Mm-hmm. Because all of Kings Highway from West Florissant to Bircher is residential. Then from Bircher over to Natural Bridge, on one side it's all residential except for where the Walgreens and a tire store. And on the other side, it's becoming predominantly something less than commercial. I mean, it's commercial, but it's not industrial. Mm-hmm. So those little spots right there was not enough to say, well, we just right here, we want it to be faster. Okay, because the school is the first thing you hit when you come off. But most people who get off I-70 now do Union. There's no Kings Highway exit anymore, okay? And there's no entrance to get on. You have to get on and off at Union. So more of the traffic was going down Union until they made it into one lane.
Okay. And so those people that are coming from that stretch, because I know the highway goes directly into, they're turning on Bircher and then getting onto Kings Highway, if I'm understanding you correctly. So they're already slowing down before they get to Kings Highway?
If they go, because there's a park there, Matthew Dickey is there, the private school is there. So if you come to Kings Highway, but many people just stay on Union because there's no reason for them, since they get off on Union, just go down Union.
Okay.
And they only start doing that once they made Union one lane, and then they're not saying very nice things to me.
No, thank you for clarifying that, Alderwoman. And the reason I asked you the question, I'm very supportive of what I recognize, I know the TrailNet community as well, of slowing down the city and helping to make a lot of our streets safer. But I also understand that transition from some of our high-speed areas to our low-speed areas is very important. Otherwise, we're not going to have the compliance that we're looking for. So that's why I wanted to make sure we weren't going to have an immediate speed switch transition doing this, which it sounds like we're not, if I'm understanding you correctly.
So the other thing on Union is the police station, okay? That's the other reason why. And if they don't, right now they're driving 60. So if they go to 40 or 35, that'll be a win for us.
Yes.
So we're going to also put some things up that read to tell them about how fast they're speeding. And then going back to what I said about, I still am working as hard as I can to find a way to get part-time police officers doing traffic safety and being on large streets, South Broadway, Gravois, South and North Kings Highway, because I actually used to live down in the Shaw neighborhood for many years, so I'm familiar with that stretch of Kings Highway also. I lived in the Central West End, so I've lived on all stretches of Kings Highway.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and that's the end of my question.
Alderman, I don't have, well, I guess my one question, is, what is the speed limit of Kings Highway right now in that area?
35.
35, okay.
And I didn't want to go to 20 because people said do 20 because that's what's down at the other end. But I figured if we could do a little at a time.
And we know when it's 35, people go 40, 45, whatever they want, right? So,
And they run the red light. So we have a school right at Cope Brilliant where Sherman Park is and Wold Center. And they just run right through that red light like it doesn't exist.
yeah. The one thing I'll flag for you is I was just exploring this using Google Street View while we were discussing it, and I noticed that there's actually not a lot of posted speed limit signs there presently. So something you might want to flag for the city after we do this is that they should post several more signs so that people know that it's 25 and they don't just have to depend on their GPS to tell them so.
We had those. So when they repaved Kings Highway and put new curbs, Rich Bradley would tell you I'm already on that because they took all the signs down. So we took pictures of all the signs laying along the curb saying, when are you going to put our signs back up? But I've been giving him, the tornado made me a lot more understanding that there were other things. I mean, we want them back up, but when they get to them, we know that they've been working on a lot more important things.
And I also know that you're correct about Kings Highway down by the hospital. I did ask about a lane reduction when they were doing the improvement plans, and they told me the hospital needs the extra capacity. Additionally, mentioning the tornado, we heard rumors that the Central West End streets were cleared immediately, which is not true. The city only cleared Kings Highway in the Central West End because Barnes is a trauma center, so they had to get access. We were expecting many more casualties than thankfully there were, but that is why that was cleared as quickly as it was. I am also very supportive of this move. I applaud you for taking this step and would also like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Thank you.
Do we have any
Oh, noted.
public testimony?
We have none.
I want to say one thing. When people fail to bring up the Central West End, if you ever hear me talking about the tornado, I always bring up the Central West End and say we are a city, and that although a lot of tornado damage was in part of Kingsway East, not in my part, that's along Kings Highway, but in the 47 and 4800 in Ville and Greaterville, it's also because I lived in Central West End for several years. And so I know when I drive up and down Delmar, past Union, when you go on Washington Place, when you go all those places, you see, my heart breaks. When you come from Clayton down, what is the Y down? It's just, or Forest Park. And I still see the big roots. And one by one, I'm kind of leaning on forestry. Can you just get this one and working on it? But I do not buy into that. And anybody says that to me, I correct them and say that is not true. This the best they can. And I know I'm really good friends with forestry. I probably planted 9,000 trees in my life because I'm a tree hugger. I love trees. So I don't push that agenda of, oh, the Central West End is getting it. We're all a city, and a lot, whether your home was 5,000 square feet or 1,000 square feet or 50,000 square feet, it was your home, and a lot of people lost it.
That's right, Alderman. I appreciate that. And with that, if you have any more to say on this bill, you recognize to close.
I have nothing else to say. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I move that Board Bill 77 be passed out of committee with a due pass recommendation, reducing the speed on Kings Highway from Dr. Martin Luther King to Bircher to 25 miles an hour.
Thank you. At this time, I'll accept a motion moved by the Alderman with the 13th. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from the 8th. And
Previous roll.
Call from previous roll from the Alderman from the 1st. Hearing no objection. Congratulations, Alderwoman. We've passed Board Bill 77 out with the due pass recommendation.
Thank you very much.
And don't go anywhere because you have one more.
Okay.
Item number 4, Board Bill number 92. You are recognized.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, Board Bill 92 is attempting to close a street called Oweda Avenue between Clarence and Posse. And then also it is going to close another part, and it's going to close Oweda at both ends, and then it's going to close a part of, is it Pope? And this is because there are two gas stations there. If you go along the highway, there's a Love gas station and a Mobile gas station. And I actually brought some pictures so you can see what's going on here. And I got a call from both gas stations. One of them Loves, they're along North Broadway, so it's all commercials along I-70. So Loves has a McDonald's and a Subway, I think, in it, and Mobile has something. But what has happened over the last few years, even way before I picked it up, is that young people are going there and hanging out. And so when you look at the map, behind the Mobile is Owita. And so they were going behind that Mobile and hanging out and shooting and doing all kind of things. And the owner actually sent me some video of that. And then I got the call from the Loves people saying, gas station saying, hey, we're having a problem with them going down Pope, and then they block the traffic and all of this. So, and even further down on Broadway, some other businesses, I'm gonna be coming back with some other things, just trying to get the kids away from the gas station. And I want to blame part of it on the Alderwoman from the 11th, because her park is right across the street, and she's had to close a lot of the entrance to O'Fallon Park because the kids were doing that kind of thing in the park. So she closed all those entrances. So they just came across the highway and they're hanging out, and it's been very dangerous. And there's Owita is really just behind the Mobile gas station, and it doesn't go to anything except between two streets. So closing that gets them from there, and then closing it right past the entrance that goes into both gas stations, that would prevent them from doing anything like hanging out or doing the things that they were doing. So that is why we came to close the street temporarily. And they even said that they would pay for any kind of things that we needed to close the streets, any barriers or anything, because they want it done sooner than later. Because every weekend, they're having a big, big problem.
All right, with that, I'll see if the committee has any questions, starting with Alderwoman Boyd.
Alderwoman Tyus, you said they're gonna put the barricades. So how, I'm kind of confused, how would that stop those kids? Because you know how these guys are. We put the barricades and they'll go in between the barricades to hang out. So is it stopping cars or it's just stopping people?
It's stopping cars at this point. If it does something else, we might have to do something like, I don't know if you ever come down Kings Highway, but right at the gas station at Hodemont, that's on the trails, they put like 4 stacks of concrete so that you can't go over it. So we've discussed that too. Right now, we would just try to stop vehicles, but if we need to, we would do that. Because I drive around town and look at, don't create the wheel. So if I see something that's successful, so when I saw that, I said, now that could work. So that would be what we would do if we have to. But right now, we're just going to put, I don't know if we have the Shamel pots, but they're the Jersey barriers. I think it's the straight ones is what they're called.
Right. The Jersey Bears, the straight ones. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. No question. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
No questions.
Alderman Devotie.
No questions.
Alderwoman Cox-Santwy.
No questions for me.
I just have a couple questions. This says it's temporarily closing. Is there a time frame we're looking at here, or is this just as long as it needs to stop that kind of activity?
Usually, and I've done a lot of these, I do 6 months test, because sometimes people think they want them, then something doesn't work out. And then if 6 months they like it, then I come back and pass a bill saying permanent. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing for years now.
So we can look forward to seeing you again in 6 months if this works out.
Correct.
All right. I understand the reasoning here. I'm looking at these maps, and I checked it out on Google Maps, and it makes a lot of sense to me. This is not a functional street anymore, and looks like it would only attract trouble. So I definitely sympathize with your situation here and am happy to support this. Madam Clerk, do we have any public testimony?
We have none.
With that, Alderwoman, you are recognized to close.
I do want to make one correction. In the board bill, I put XX because I didn't know how many feet north of the north curve of Pope and North Broadway. So it's going to be approximately 500 feet. And it'll be right there at the entrance. So I just want to do a correction and put 500 feet instead of XXX.
Okay, I think we can probably fix that in, well, I'm wondering the best way to do that if we want it.
So you can
It's
do
in the
it.
summary, so I think it could probably just be corrected in engrossment, but we'll double check on that after it exits
I
committee.
could tell you how you can do it right now. You can do as a friendly amendment and make it a committee substitute. You can do it as a Scrivener's error. But it's not just in the summary. It is in the second line of the, let me see, where was it?
Yeah, she has it.
The second line of the bill itself. So you do need to put it, you can also wait and I can do it on the floor. All of those work.
Okay, I think what we'll do, just to keep things moving today, since we have a lot on our agenda, is we can more, but appreciate you highlighting that, and we'll get that fixed. With that, I will accept a recommendation for due pass for Board Bill number 92.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by the Alderwoman
Previous
from the 13th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 8th. Call for previous roll from the Alderwoman from the 1st. Hearing no objection, we've passed Board Bill 92 out of committee.
Thank you. Thank you, committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, members of the committee.
Thank you, Alderwoman. With that, Alderwoman Boyd, if you don't mind, I know you have a few bills, but I'd like to go ahead and recognize the non-member of the committee that's here, if that's okay with you. I think you're muted.
Alderwoman Boyd. We can't hear you if you're trying to speak.
Alderwoman Boyd appears to be frozen, so I think we'll just move ahead at this time. And Alderwoman Velasquez, you are recognized on Board Bill 109. That is item number 9 on the agenda.
Thank you, and thank you, Chair. Oh, this is loud. And thank you, Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee. Madam Clerk, can you just read the bill summary?
Board Bill 109, introduced by Alderwoman Daniela Velasquez, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above-surface, surface, and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel in the portion of Parker Avenue beginning approximately 409.795 plus or minus 0.115 feet from Kings Highway Boulevard and extending east 183.56 over minus 0.2 feet to the point of the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereafter described in accordance with Charter Authority and in their conformity with Section 14 of Article 21 of the Charter and imposing certain conditions on such vacation.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This is a pretty straightforward bill. You all should have received a letter of testimony from John Schicker of Schicker Ford where this location is. They had started this process in 2017, and for whatever reason it didn't happen. They asked to do it again. Obviously, you heard it is recommended by BPS. It has been approved by planning. The Schicker Ford location has been there for a very long time. They've been very good stewards and good business owners here in the city. So this is a request from them, and I believe they will do a good job in taking over this portion of the street. So with that, I open to questions and ultimately ask for your favorable consideration of this bill.
Thank you. We'll move to the committee with questions. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderwoman Clark-Hubbard. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
No questions.
Alderman Devoti.
No questions.
Alderwoman Cox-Antwi.
No questions.
I just have one question, which is, looking at this, it looks like there's a couple businesses down this road, and I just, for due diligence's sake, want to make sure that this has been coordinated with the other businesses that are down here, not just the Ford dealership, but looks like, and maybe they're not here anymore, but Google says G&W Meat and Bavarian style sausage, as well as a, I'm going to mispronounce this, but Huva Pharma?
They have, to my knowledge, they have worked with those businesses before. That business was mentioned in the letter that when they tried this in 2017 and got the sign-offs.
Okay, so as long as this doesn't inconvenience any of the other businesses, I can see the reasoning for this and don't have any more questions. Madam Clerk, do we have any public testimony?
We have none.
You have one that I sent the clerk from John Schicker. That should have come over.
We have
this
one
morning.
written testimony that we'll acknowledge at the end of the meeting, but for those of you who, I believe it was in our email, a letter of support for this from Schicker Ford. With that, Alderwoman, you are recognized to close.
I ask for your favorable consideration.
Thank you. With that,
So
I'll
moved.
accept due pass recommendation for Board Bill 109. It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 13th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 8th. I'll
Previous roll.
call for previous roll from the Alderwoman from the 8th. Hearing no objection, congratulations, Alderwoman. This is passed out of committee with the due pass recommendation.
Thank you.
This time, we'll move back to item number 5 on the agenda. Alderwoman Boyd, you are recognized on Board Bill 101.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and the board for hearing my bill. And my bill is for speed bumps in the 13th ward. And what I did was I cleaned up all the speed humps that I had that were in the ward that we saw that wasn't, we didn't have legislation for 'em and or we hadn't moved on them. So we got petitions from all the residents and we got the information from streets so we can make sure that we got the process done correctly. And so it is not in front of me. Could you kind of tell me, the clerk kind of tell me what that first one is for?
Board Bill 101 is pursuant to ordinance number 70333 as amended by ordinance number 71394, an ordinance directing the director of streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on a block in the 13th ward.
Okay. And so I ask for favorable consideration for that board bill, please.
Thank you, Alderwoman. And just if you could make sure you stay parked while we go through these bills, just so we can follow.
Oh,
our
I'm
rules.
parked.
Okay.
I'm
I understand
I'm
wanting to be out of the wind. It is a blustery day. We'll go
Yeah.
through committee real quick and get through these. So starting with Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
No questions on any of it.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
No questions.
Alderman Devotie.
No questions.
Alderwoman Cox Antwi.
No questions.
I also have no questions. Alderwoman, we'll see. Do we have any public testimony?
We have none.
Okay, Alderwoman, you're recognized to close.
Yes, sir. I ask for favorable consideration and unanimous consent for my board bill.
This time, I'll accept a due pass recommendation for Board Bill 101.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by the Alderwoman from the 8th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 5th, or the Alderman from the 5th. And,
Previous roll.
a call for previous roll from the Alderwoman from the 1st. Hearing no objection, we have passed Board Bill 101 with a due pass recommendation. Moving on to item number 6, Board Bill 102. Alderwoman Boyd, you are recognized.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair and the committee. This is another bill to clean up the staggering speed hump requests that we had out. And so that's another board bill for speed humps within the 13th ward. And I ask for favorable consideration.
Thank you. To move this up, I'm just going to kind of offer to the committee, do we have any questions?
No.
No questions.
Seeing none, Alderwoman, you're recognized to close.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I ask for favorable consideration for Board Bill, is it 102?
102. With that,
Yes,
I'll
sir,
accept a
for
due
what?
pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second,
Moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderman from the 8th.
previous roll.
Call for previous roll from the Alderman from the 8th. Hearing no objection, we've passed Board Bill 102 with the due pass recommendation. Moving on to item number 7, Board Bill number 104. Alderwoman Boyd, you are recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair and the committee, I ask for favorable consideration for speed humps for Board Bill 107.
104.
104.
With that, does any of the committee have any questions?
No.
No.
Seeing none, any public testimony?
We have none.
Okay, and with that, I'll accept a due pass recommendation for Board Bill 104.
Second,
Moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 8th. Call for previous roll from the Alderwoman from the 8th. Hearing no objection, we've passed Board Bill number 104 with a due pass recommendation. And Alderwoman, this is the last one. Moving on to item number 8, Board Bill number 105. You are recognized.
Mr. Chair and committee, I ask for favorable consideration for Bill 105 for speed humps.
With that, does the committee have any questions?
no.
No.
Seeing none. Any public testimony?
We have none.
I'll accept a due pass recommendation, Alderwoman, you're recognized to close.
Committee and Mr. Chair, I ask for favorable consideration for Board Bill 105.
With that,
Is it what? Okay.
I will accept a due pass recommendation, a motion for a due pass recommendation for Board Bill 105.
So moved.
Second,
Moved by
Previous roll.
the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderman from the 8th. Call for previous roll from the Alderman from the 8th. Hearing no objection, congratulations, Alderwoman. We have passed Board Bill 105 out with a due pass recommendation. We will move
Thank
on
you.
at this time to the 5th item on the agenda, resolutions for review.
We have none.
Item number 6, committee discussions.
We have none.
Any written testimony?
One written testimony for Board Bill 109 in support.
Thank you. Do any member of the committee have any announcements? Seeing none, all members were present, so no need to excuse. And with that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
second,
Moved by the Alderman. Moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderman from the 8th. A call for previous roll from the Alderwoman from the 1st. And hearing no objection, we are adjourned.